We want to get you those next 20 points. It's going to come from getting super detailed in your review process. This is Basheva, and she's looking to go from the low 150s to a 175 in the next month. My name is Steve Schwartz, and I actually scored a 175 on my own official LSAT. Today, Basheva is going to bring me her biggest LSAT challenge, and I'm going to help her address it as we look to improve her score by 20 points or more. And where are you currently scoring?
I scored the best on when I did a 35-minute test, and my first test was 138, which is not good, but I went on. I didn't know yet that I could change the time, so I did it on the 35 minutes. I haven't taken another diagnostic test to see where I am. What I'm doing is just from the sections, sometimes I'm getting 10 wrong, sometimes 6 wrong. I found with JET, he's really given me some very key ways to, the things that can really help me. And I found a significant difference just from the past week or so. What I'm finding though, and nothing to do with JET, is that my schedule is great, but I love the plan that they're giving me. It's me that's not having the correct amount of time to do it. So I'm trying to figure out what would really give me the most, for now I'm a week behind, even though I'm doing work, but today is LSAT day. What I tried doing with JET when we spoke this week, to see should I just continue with the what they're giving me, the program that I'm getting. And I've already spoken to them in the middle, and they changed that around a little bit, and that was better, but I'm not even up to there yet. So I did one day and then went back to what I was doing, because my weakest part is the first part that they gave me, so I don't want to miss that review.
I just want to call out a couple things. One is that you started off at a 138. You're looking to get a 175 1 month from now. And of course, you've improved since that 138. You started working with JET. I'm glad you're finding the coaching helpful. I'm glad you're finding the program and the study plan helpful as well. That's awesome.
This morning, I'm on such a high because assumption needs, I did 10, I got only 2 right, which was crazy. Last night, and of course this week, there's always crazy things, which besides that I work full time, trying to do my LSATs 2 o'clock in the morning, which is not the right thing, but I'm trying not to give in. Last night, I was finally the first night home after 6 nights. And I said, you're going to start LSATs and you're going to get assumption needs into your head and you're not budging until you do. Something clicked and I finally started getting them right. And I woke up this morning and I did another 2 and got them right. Went back to my assumption list that I had from the schedule. And I said, you're going to do 5 before the call and you're going to get them right. I did 2 on middle of the 3, but I got them right. So to me, that was, and it took me and back to what I told you yesterday, I can't be on a question for 10 minutes. That's got to stop. And I did them each in less than 3 minutes, which to me is a huge breakthrough, because my issues that I'm having is I'm spending so much time in a question when in the beginning I know the answer just by reading it the first second. And I just sit on it because take your time and go through it slower, and that's where I botch up. I started the first 10 questions. I took another test because I wanted to see what my score was. I took the first 10 questions. I got 3 wrong, but I'm going to say I only got 2 wrong because I was doing it in bed, and one of them I by mistake pressed the wrong button because I was trying to do it fast. It's also a mistake, but in reality I was getting 5 wrong till now, and I only got 10 wrong this morning. Trying to do it, you're not going to spend 10 minutes on a test. Trying to get that into my head, that on a question, stop that, and you got to stop it now. To the extent that I even sent for accommodations and I asked for 3 times 100 minutes because I so thought that I have to put that long time into each test, and I see that for me that's not working. My main thing is speed because I have to get to the April 10th LSAT, and I realize that that's a big no-no for me is when I'm sitting on the question. And once I start sitting on the question, my whole mind goes everywhere but where the question is, and that's where I botch up terribly. So even though I'm going to make mistakes, but at least they're mistakes that are true mistakes and not because I botched my brain up while trying to really think what the answer was.
Let's make the most of this time and talk about how to help you get faster, right? How do we help you speed up and avoid getting bogged down and stuck? So a couple things, you mentioned you're getting maybe -10, -12 wrong per section. So that's obviously better than the 138 you started off at, but there's still a ways to go to get you to that 175.
What mark would that give me? Just about.
To be honest, I don't know off the top of my head. The raw score conversions for each exam are different, but it's a bit far off. It's a bit far off. There's still, maybe it's going to be in the 150s, just to ballpark it. So we're still looking for probably something like a 20-25 point increase. Overthinking can destroy your timing on the LSAT. It's not enough to get the question right. You got to get it right under test day conditions. And you can use the order of difficulty in logical reasoning to your advantage. because the questions get harder as the section goes on, meaning the earlier questions in this section are going to be easier on average. If you're aiming for a 165 or above, I typically recommend aiming to solve the first 10 questions in roughly 10 to 12 minutes, building up a time bank that you can then apply to the tougher questions later in the section. This means don't second guess yourself on those first 10. Trust your gut. If it seems easy, it probably is because it is easy. It's not like the correct answer can't be correct just because it's too obvious. That could be the case on question number 23, but it's probably not the case on question number 5. Hey guys, real quick, a lot of you have been asking me how you can be featured in one of these LSAT study breakdowns and get feedback on your approach. The only way is to join one of my LSAT coaching programs. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out on your journey to getting a top LSAT score. And now, back to the show. You mentioned the triple time accommodations, which of course would have an impact. Have those been approved for you?
Yes. I got approved for removing the section. Whatever I asked for. I asked for the triple time, removing the section, and, being able to sit or stand and speak. So just because I can't think that I'm being in my chair all day, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's good to know as well. So what this means is that we want you taking a new practice test under the new timed conditions, the triple time, no extra section, stop, start, breaks, because that's going to give us a better baseline as to where you're at right now. And then that also could potentially address some of the speed issues. So pending that, I'm going to say let's focus on accuracy for now. Don't skip over portions of the study plan, the earlier portions, because you mentioned you think it would be helpful, and establishing that strong foundation is key. You want to know the proper perspective from which to view each section and each question type. For example, you mentioned necessary assumption, which is one of the most common question types in logical reasoning. So it's a high yield area to focus on relative to, say, parallels, of which there are only a couple. Extra time accommodations can certainly help, but they're not going to replace a strong strategy or understanding of the content. Extra time is not a license to overthink things. It just means your pacing might improve a bit, but you still got to be able to get the questions right at the end of the day, which means an in-depth review process, analysis of your mistakes, what you're getting wrong, and why. You're limited in hours in the day. You're also limited in weeks before the exam. You've got roughly 4 weeks left. And so we need to make some difficult decisions, which might involve cutting some areas like parallels, spending more time on necessary assumption. And if you can at all, you mentioned today is your LSAT day.
Today's my LSAT day. Other than 2 hours, I'm going to be spending all LSAT. Like now I stopped in the morning because I wanted to get on, start a new test and see where I'm holding. And then I have to do 5 necessary assumptions because I feel like I nailed it. And even when I did them, I was done in no time and I got them right. Then do I go ahead with my plan, or am I doing what I'm doing this morning? Otherwise, I spent the last 2 hours doing a different area in LSAT, or I'm in middle of must be true questions. So which one do I go to?
That's a great question. I mean, the answer is yes to all of it.
I know that.
Yes.
I wish I had 3 monitors on.
Well, it sounds like you need more time.
I mean, this week alone, I gave the whole Sunday was LSAT. Monday, I spent 2-3 hours. Tuesday, I spent a little bit. Must have been an hour or 2. Yesterday, only when I came home at night. So I am giving myself a few hours in the day to LSAT, but I wish I had a lot more.
It's totally normal to fall behind in your LSAT study plan because things can and will come up in your life outside of the LSAT, whether it's work or school or family. What matters is that you keep forging ahead by prioritizing the most important areas of your plan or any new areas that might come up as you study over the course of the week. So when you need to make priorities, focus on the high yield areas, the most important question types, the ones that give you trouble that show up most frequently. The 3 biggest types of questions in logical reasoning are necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. So focus on those. Don't feel like you need to play catch up by doubling up or tripling up days of work into a single day. Quality matters more than quantity every single time. My recommendation here is going to be for April, since it's that triage situation, cut whatever from the plan you feel is not the highest priority and then spend that time on what you do feel is the highest priority, like necessary assumptions or more timed work. And obviously things evolve and change as time goes on. And so we're always happy to make unlimited revisions to your plan for you so that you don't have that disconnect between the plan we've laid out and then what you feel you need in the moment. And if you're falling behind because things get busy, then of course we can also adjust it for that reason as well. I want you to be able to rely on the plan that we lay out. But of course, as things change, we might need to adjust it for you. And then of course, if we say, you know what, we really would benefit from those additional 2 months to get you to that 175 because you want to be in a place 3 weeks out where you're not feeling gaps on a question type like necessary assumption, and we want you doing more timed work, then we can of course give you that space for a June plan.
Got it.
Be open to adapting as you study and changing your review methods as you progress. You're never locked into just one plan or just one methodology. Your confidence as you move forward is going to come from proper preparation, and what you need at one stage may not be what you need at a different stage. If you're earlier in the process, if your score is a bit lower, you may need to build some baseline familiarity to build a strong foundation. But once you're past that stage, once you have a general overview of the different sections and the different question types, it's time to get into execution and application, doing real LSAT questions, and then reviewing your mistakes in depth. And as you progress, as you move forward, you'll see your scores rise, and that will indicate where you need to next take the direction of your studying, and you'll adjust your study plan accordingly. Hey guys, real quick, if you're just getting started with your LSAT prep or you're looking for a quick refresher, grab your free easy LSAT cheat sheet linked below this video. I've packed it full of concrete actionable tactics you can take and apply to your LSAT prep right away for a quick score boost, and again, it's 100% free. So you can grab your copy below. Again, back to the show. Have you been able to adopt any sort of review document or tracker like what we typically do with the Socratic review method?
No, I haven't worked on that yet. Actually, this morning, when I went back to the necessary assumptions, a list of has all the necessary assumptions. So I was just documenting on that, what happened, the time that it took. But I haven't reviewed anything with the Socratic review method with Jet.
Okay, that's going to be something I want to invite you to explore and play with a little bit. I know you have limited time, both in hours and in terms of weeks before your exam. So this might be something to toy with a bit now. And then if you decide to go for June, you'll have more time to experiment with it. I'm going to share something with you just so that you can get a sample of what others in the program are doing, because I think you might find it helpful. This is a document from another student, LSAT Practice Wrong Answer Journal. This student is laying out the practice test number, section number, question stem type, so flaw, must be true, and so on. They laid out the method of reasoning as they see it, what they chose, the right answer, and then they have laid out whether they flagged it or not. They're also laying out question stem, why my choice was wrong, what made it tempting, why is the right answer right, what made the right answer unappealing, and then some other miscellaneous notes. And so the idea here is that they're getting really deliberate and concrete in their analysis of everything they're getting wrong and why, so that they can avoid making the same mistake again. And so I would invite you to do this not for every single question that you're attempting, of course, but maybe just specifically for the toughest ones you're getting wrong, the ones you're having difficulty with, as you're mentioning necessary assumption. That might be something for you to explore. I think you could see big gains from that.
Okay, I actually saw this, probably even the first instructors recommended this, and I asked Jet if I should be doing it, and he told me, no, you don't need to.
Did he say why?
No, he said it's not necessary, and that's why I didn't do it. Otherwise, I was ready to go ahead and do it.
Interesting. I mean, it might have been based on where you were at in the process in terms of building that foundation, but with your test coming up in a month, with you having a specific sense of your weak areas, it might be something for you to explore adopting. Again, you have limited time. You also have to balance this with foundational work. You also have to balance this with timed exams. But when it comes to reviewing your mistakes on the timed exams, this could be really helpful for you. Maintaining momentum under timed conditions is key. Every single question is worth the same, so you never want to get bogged down on any single question. The LSAT actually has a built-in flagging function for this very reason, meaning if you feel like you're spending too long on one question, you risk getting stuck in LSAT quicksand. Just flag it, skip it, come back to it later at the end of the section. You want to use this sparingly, of course, maybe for 3 or 4 questions within a single section. You flag them, you finish off the section, you come back to them with a fresh perspective, and that second look can help you break out of your previous tunnel vision and turn a guess into a confident correct answer, or at least help you eliminate a couple of choices and make your choosing the right one that much more likely. I'll call out for you here what I would say are the key things to focus on when you're adopting something like this. You want to, of course, note which practice question it was from the exam, so practice test number, section number, question number. You want to note the question stem type. I'll skip over column D for now. I don't think that's fully necessary at this stage. For column E, what you chose. Column F, the right answer. Column M, what made the right answer unappealing, meaning why did you not pick it on your first attempt? I'll go back here a little bit as well. I'm going to note why your choice was wrong, what made the wrong answer tempting, what made the right answer right, and what made the right answer unappealing. So 2 columns for the wrong answer, columns J and K, meaning why was it wrong, what made it tempting. 2 columns for the right answer, column L, what made it right, what made the right answer right, and column M, what made the right answer unappealing. And the reason I'm noting this is because you have traps of encouragement towards the wrong answer and traps of discouragement away from the right answer. And until you know exactly which tricks and traps you're personally uniquely prone to falling for, you may end up making the same mistake again, and that's what we want to help you avoid.
So just to fully understand, is it because I'm just writing it down that kind of, just the method of, or is it something that I end up reviewing later with my coach or something, or both?
Both. So the process itself of writing it down forces you to articulate your thought process, because otherwise it's too easy to look at the right answer, say, oh, I get it now, how could I have been so dumb? Then you just move on to the next question. But until you fully understand what mistakes you're making and why, you may end up just repeating them, and that's what we want to help you avoid. And then later, of course, you can review this regularly, noting the key insights or any trends in terms of patterns for what you're getting wrong.
I will start doing this, even though I was, originally Jet told me not to, but I definitely will start. And I go for these type of things. So I believe, because I'm a coach myself, if it's a system that may not look to me like it works, but if it's something that my coach is explaining that, no, this is where we are and go for it, then that's enough for me to say, for me to coach you, I need you to do this to make it work. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have a process in place, and this is going to allow us to both track the data, and it's also going to allow you, it's going to encourage you to go deeper in your review, which is going to be incredibly important as you start taking more timed exams in the lead up to the test in a month, especially if you're taking it 3 months out, you have even more time to implement this. But I think this right here is going to be the key for you. You also need that strong foundation, of course. So I want you getting solid on question types like necessary assumption, for example. So spend some time on the foundation. But once you've done that, and we could see that your practice test scores are maybe ideally at least in the mid 150s, and we want to get you those next 20 points, it's going to come from getting super detailed in your review process. So I'm super excited to see where you could take it from here. Tracking your mistakes and deepening your review process is key to making significant improvements. Otherwise, you risk repeating the same mistakes without even realizing it. And when you're at a relatively lower score, like a 138 as a starting point, it may just be that you need to work on all areas, all sections, all question types. But as you progress, as you get into the 150s, there will probably be some important trends in what you're getting wrong that indicate where you need to spend the majority of your time. But if you're not tracking your mistakes, you're not collecting the valuable data that points you in the right direction in terms of where to focus your time. And so when you're already in the 150s or beyond, looking to break into the high 170s, you've got to be diligent and obsessive even about tracking your mistakes, about deepening your review process so that you can figure out what mistakes you're making and why, so that you can create an action plan to avoid making those same mistakes the next time around.